Hi everyone, I'm here with my third installment of beauty tips, and I don't know if I'll ever run out of these. As I sat to think of a few that I could put in today's video, I just was thinking of more and more things that I don't really consider beauty tips because I do them all the time, and then the more I thought about it, I was thinking, yeah, that qualifies as a beauty tip. So I'm just going to share a few more with you. These ones are all natural. If you follow my blog, you'll know that I'm on a kind of an all-natural sort of experiment lately, and I've started off with just kind of body and skincare and that I'm just not using any products with chemicals, with harsh chemicals in them, etc, etc. So I thought it was only fitting that my beauty tips today were all natural. A lot of my kind of natural beauty tips I would have got from my grandmother, and I've been using them for years and I never really thought anything of them. So here are just 4, and I hope I can fit in more of these videos so I can share the rest of them with you, because you might as well benefit because I have. Okay, so the first one is actually something I spoke about a few days ago. I got a crazy breakout. The worst breakout I've had in a really long time. Actually, the worst breakout I've had since I started making videos on YouTube. My very first video was a review on MAC Studio Fix Fluid, and I mentioned in my terrible first video that I got cystic acne after using it for a few days, and I never have acne ever. So it was a really bad reaction. It wasn't like a kind of a skin clogging reaction, it was like an allergic reaction where nothing actually came up. It was just literally my face pained, and it lasted 3 weeks, and it was pretty bad. So I wasn't very happy with that, obviously. But I had since kind of watched loads of other people's videos and everything on Studio Fix, and I was thinking, oh god, it's not fair that I can't use it. Anyway, I had long since forgotten about it, but I was in Brown Thomas last week with my sister, and I noticed I was wearing Clinique Superfit, and I noticed when I was kind of testing eyeshadows, I noticed in the mirror that my foundation was kind of letting me down, and it had gone blotchy on my chin. So I just grabbed the nearest tester bottle and I put a little tiny bit on, and I dabbed a tiny bit around my chin and blended it in. Now I mean a tiny amount, and it was of course Studio Fix. I thought nothing else of it till 3 days later, and I broke out from here to here, right under where I blended it. It was so painful. It was actually painful to smile. So it was the same story all over again. So if you want to know more about my reaction, you can check out my first horrible video, or maybe don't. Anyway, nothing cleared the last time. It was just, I was using my usual Neutrogena 2-in-1 mask and lots of other things. So I mentioned on Twitter that I got rid of my breakout within like 2 days. Actually overnight, I dried it up, and then the following day it had cleared. Now there's still some marks left, but they're just flake, like as in it's literally been a few days, and it's nearly all kind of, it's all the last kind of bits of the breakout are almost healed. So what I did was I used 3 things, and that was it. And Flirts with Life, I think it's Flirts with Life. Sarah she has a YouTube channel, but she asked me on Twitter would I mention this in a video just so I could show people what I did, so how I made it. And it basically is just like a paste. And I've been using it for about 4 nights now. When I'm going to bed, I just make it up literally in the bathroom, apply it on the affected area, and sleep in it. So all you use is some lavender essential oil, which we always had in our house. I think like from the time I was born anyway, my grandmother always had lavender oil in the house. She uses it for everything. Tea tree oil, which are all kind of fairly widely available. Don't use fragrance oils, and make sure if you're using essential oils, that it's obviously the highest grade full essential oil, that there's no chemicals added or anything like that wouldn't be healing at all. And the last thing I have is just some clay, and this is actually Fuller's Earth, which is really cheap. You can find it on eBay. You can find it in lots of kind of health shops as well, any clay that can be used like for cosmetic purposes. So Fuller's Earth just comes from the earth and it's very natural. So all I do is take a teaspoon of this, I pop it into just this little container here, I add 2 drops of lavender oil and 2 drops of tea tree, and I literally blend it together with the back of a teaspoon, and using the back of the teaspoon I smear it all over. Now within, as I said, within 1 day the breakout had cleared. It had dried all of, and I actually went to bed, my skin was almost oozing. I know that's gross, but it was actually really, really sore, and the next day there was no pain, and by the second night of using it, there really was nothing there. So I've been using it because lavender, tea tree and lavender are both antiseptic, but lavender is also used for healing. And while I'm there, I'll mention I burned my forehead using a curling tongs the other day. Oopsie. And if you ever burn yourself and you have lavender essential oil around, little dab on a bit of cotton wool and apply it, just neat, nothing else applied, just dab it on. It speeds up healing, no infection, no scarring. Okay, so anyway, I mix it up in here. Here's my one from last night, which is just looks gross and dried. Ew. It smells amazing. Though it smells really, really good. And I actually slept, I have kind of like maybe normal to combination skin, and I slept in this with this all over my face last night just as an experiment before I made the video. I wanted to make sure like it didn't have the rest of my skin, like even some parts of my cheeks are kind of quite dry. I slept in it and my skin is baby soft this morning and no breakout. So I just said I'd show you how I did that. Okay, next thing is actually just a little shoe trick that again I learned from my granny. And if you have a really, really uncomfortable pair of shoes, Exhibit A, if you get a candle, I've seen people do this with Vaseline, but I find Vaseline messy and it also gets all over your tights, and it makes sure if you're wearing tights, and it makes them look shiny and everything, so I don't like that. If you get a candle, and this is just like a little tea light that I've just taken out, it was actually there to be burned and I just took it out, and if you rub that in around the edge, anywhere that burns, like let's say if the strap burns, if you rub it in under the strap and at the sides of the strap, it stops any friction burn and your shoes are much more comfortable. So I always do that because I used to spend a lot of money on those, you know, like the gel cushions for your shoes, or then they brought out ones that were for your heel and then other ones that were for straps, and they're very expensive and you lose them very easily. And so I just decided, okay, I'll stop buying them and I'll just think of a better way. So that's my better way. The next one is actually one of the best tips I ever learned, because this really applies to me at the moment. I decided a few months ago that I was never going to get acrylic nails again, and I'm left with au naturel, which when I removed my acrylic nails myself, which you should never do, by the way, I am bold and I shouldn't have done it, and I ruined my nails and they were literally peeling and flaking into nothingness. They were hideous. And I was really miserable, but instead of kind of buying hand creams and the whole lot, I decided that I would venture down the vitamin E route. So this is just a vitamin E capsule that you get in any kind of, in Ireland they're like Nature's Way and like Holland and Barrett in the UK. I don't know what they are in America, but anywhere that sells natural products, vitamin E capsule. Chop it in half over a bowl or over a saucer or something, and then apply it into the cuticle and the nail bed and rub it into the nail. And within like 2 weeks, I did that just once a day for about a fortnight. My nails are strong, healthy. I've actually clipped them a few times because I was playing piano the other day, so I couldn't have them long. But they are just, I'm really, really happy with them for the first time in a really long time. So this is a really cheap way to get the effects of a really expensive product. So, and the last one, I'm actually going to do this. This is actually really messy. I'm not going to put it on my face just because I have makeup on and that won't be gross. But it's actually a facelift mask. Now this is quite short-lived. The effects are really kind of, you're really going, wow, that's a great effect. It's not long-lasting, but it gives you a lift when you need one. And it is an egg white lifting mask. So an egg, I'm using the back of a spoon. I'm going to do this on the floor, but I just have, actually I'll use it. My Starbucks Christmas mug. I'm just going to use the back of the fork and then crack the egg in half. Loads of it is pouring out. Okay, I'm going to keep the egg yolk in one side. So for anyone who hasn't done any home economics classes or learned this from their mum, you're just pouring the egg yolk back and forth from one side to the other whilst letting the white of the egg drip into the cup. It's not messy. It sounds messy. It's not. Maybe it is the first time, but it's not after that. Okay, so an egg white mask, that's all you need is one egg white. Get rid of the yolk. And then you're going to just whisk it. I'm just going to use a fork. If you have time, you could actually whisk that with a whisk and make it really frothy, and it'd be like putting meringue on your face, which feels really nice. So you could do that if you have time. I never have time, to be honest. So I just whisk that and I just pat it in to my skin and leave it on for 10 minutes or till it kind of like dries and cracks over. Rinse it off with a damp flannel and don't scrub, just literally pat it off, and it just gives your face a nice lift and it looks really fresh and gives you a lovely glow. And that's it. So those are my beauty tips for today. Oh, I would like to mention that I will be doing a video on I don't know how to put this. There was I mentioned that I get a horrible rash at the backs of my arms, like little red bumpy things that are awful. And with my natural week, I decided to embark on a few little projects, and I found something. I made something up that got rid of them. They are gone, banished from my life. This is 2 weeks now, sharing every day with something I just made up, and they have not come back. No irritation, no itching, no redness. I am ecstatic. So I will share that with you in my next video. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Keep the requests coming. Have a great day. Bye.